good evening to all 300 plus people that have chosen to join us. For what reason at all? Who knows? We've got nothing to talk about, but we've also got plenty to talk about, haven't we? Which one of you wants to go first?
I mean, listen, I'll start us off because, oh my word, what a dreadful deadline day this has been. Just waiting. It's one of them weird ones where we've been told not to expect anything to happen, yet we're all waiting for something to happen, and literally nothing has happened. It feels like this transfer window has just been all fur coat and no knickers consistently. Listen, I feel it's hard to remember the last time we had a transfer window for Posh where we haven't signed anyone, not even just one sort of token deadline day loan signing. I feel like that hasn't happened since the old king died. We haven't not failed to get a player in for quite a while. It's crazy. I mean, it is just mental. We've been supposedly signing Kyrie's Lisby. I know that was what the intro was referring to. Everyone's been getting excited about that. Have we ever actually seen Posh linked to Lisby, or is it just the fact that his brother plays for us? If so, we should be being linked to absolutely all of them. All of the Lisbys should be on our books. But yeah, it's been a tough day. It's been a tough day. Not really enjoyed it. Had that weird thing, that sort of weird 15 minutes with Mendy and Tom O'Connor, but other than that, yeah, very little to write home about, unfortunately.
Well, Chaz has stolen my thunder there. What else have I got to comment on? Not a great deal, have I? Really?
Let's just end the live now. We're done.
yeah, 4 minutes that'll do. No, I'm hoping something can happen, but I'm not sure it will. I mean, just a nice little Abraham Otto departure tweet wouldn't go amiss, would it, before 7 p.m. or something like that? We'll even take one of them now. It's not even got to be an incoming, has it? We're in a position, I think, where are we that likely to go up? No, I do think results might have had an impact on how much we've gone at this transfer window, and we've lost 4 games in January. It was a bit of a long shot. We're now, 10 points off the playoffs? Do you risk going with your budget now, or do you keep it for the summer? And I think they've probably gone, let's save the budget and we'll go at it in the summer transfer window. And I can kind of get that. The only question is, look, I don't think we're going down, but there is 7 points between us and the relegation zone. And if we did get sucked into that, the backlash is going to be massive because we have weakened the squad. Like, regardless of the players that have gone, we have lost senior players. I know you can poke your nose up, but we're going into games now with Sycut and, there's a lot of youngsters on the bench that we've lost senior players. So while they may not have a massive role to play, the squad now has a lot fewer players than it did before. Tom O'Connor's gone back, for instance. So, yeah, they've taken a bit of a gamble. I think they've probably kept their money in their pocket. I'd love to go on here and just have a rant and pretend to be mad about it. I'm not that annoyed. It would have been nice to see somebody come in and us to have a little bit of a punt, but I kind of get what the club have done.
Yeah, I think where I see it is that we probably needed to get something out of one of those 2 games last week to sort of keep that playoff push going, to keep the vibes around that positive. And I'm with you, John. I think if we'd gone and, for example, got 6 points out of those games, we would have, thrown that money at a Kyrie's Lisby or something on deadline day and gone and really strengthened the squad. But I think the fact that, it's looking unlikely is probably a big factor in us not doing that. Looking at, the run of games, I'm really not concerned about relegation. I think we've got a really good run coming up. Couple of tough away games in there, but there's a run: Exeter at home, Cobblers away, Port Vale at home, Orient away, Rotherham at home, Wimbledon away, and then Mansfield at home. I think there's enough points in that run, which ends, at the end of March, to firmly keep us in the league. Like, I'm not concerned about that at all. I think there is a chance that we do really well from those games, really well, and then we'll be sort of back in that conversation that I was just talking about with the playoffs, and then that might be the point where I think we'll kick ourselves more and we'll go, well, actually, we're really one or 2 key pieces away from this going on, 1 or 2 key pieces away from really kicking on and having a go. We might live to regret that, but I'm still very optimistic about what next season's going to bring, even if we don't get anything in this January. And yeah, it's not been a terrible window, has it? We've kept hold of all of our talent. And we will do again pretty much, other than maybe Archie Collins in the summer. So, that's a good starting place for a Posh fan to be.
Yeah, I don't disagree. John, you said that we've weakened the squad, but I do genuinely think that some of these under-18s are better than the offering that we had. So I have no qualms. It's the age-old, if you're good enough, you're old enough. And I think that we've seen that, certainly in some of the under-21s games. These players are just considerably better than anything we're offering. Obviously, one question that people are asking in the comments now are, do we need a backup keeper? Well, no, this is a genius play from the club. We've got rid of 2 goalkeepers that, realistically, in the nicest way possible, Belo's not it, and Blackmore has just never been it in his, 6 years at the club now. It's like we kept giving him contracts, kept telling him that he was going to be the number 1 goalie, and he never quite cut it, did he? So now what that does mean is that means that Bastian Smith is number 2, but it also means that if Alex Bass does get injured, we are now free to roam the emergency loan market. So I do genuinely think that it's great play. There's no point bringing in a lone goalkeeper to sit on the bench for another, 5 months now?
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Ash. I think if we're looking at where I would have liked people, like we needed to make some signings. I'm very surprised we've gone through this window without signing a winger. I have to say I am quite surprised by that, because it feels like Cairo Lisby is doing a lot of work at the minute, and there's not really a lot else. So I am a little bit disappointed that we didn't sign a winger. I'm also slightly surprised the club haven't taken a punt on another striker. I did think when Lindgren went, at the minute we now have Pemi is literally, if Leonard gets injured, I know you can say that Morgan can play up there, but really Pemi is our bench option there. And I thought the club might have found room for one more, Darragh likes to call them a gem. So we'll call it a gem signing that might have come in from the non-leagues or the lower leagues. I really did think that those 2 additions might have happened. Doesn't look like they're going to now. But other than that, I mean, maybe a centre-back, given that Tom O'Connor's now gone back as well, and Hughes is probably done for the season. If he's got another 5 weeks out injured, by the time he's fit again, it's going to be May, isn't it? So there is 2 or 3 positions where you kind of go, okay, we're not looking that strong in them. And I am a little surprised we've not pulled the trigger on anything. But beyond that, did we really need to make that many other additions? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we're still sort of hoping, aren't we, that Frith or Hayes will come good, especially Declan Frith. That was a signing that we spent a lot of money on, and we've still not really seen him at full fitness yet. We're hoping maybe second half of the season, a little remontada for him where he might, all of a sudden come good. And Kean Hayes is what he is, isn't he? He's looked better in recent games. I actually think he's been on decent form. At Wickham he came on and did well. Stevenage the same, arguably, and then obviously put the cross in for the first goal at the weekend. I didn't actually watch the game, to be honest with you, but I've seen the highlights and looked like he played okay. So maybe there's some scope for that on the right wing, but yeah, I think the winger position is going to be one that we're going to have to address again in the summer, whether that be signing another left winger as well, because obviously Lisby is our only really viable option there, and I know we've seen Odo sort of flirting with a place back in the squad, but as John said, I'm sort of hoping we'll get some news of him leaving in the next couple of hours, or at least within the first couple of weeks of the summer. Whether that will then be another gem signing, as John said, sign another Cairo Lisby, the next Cairo Lisby, to sort of take his place when he's done and keep bringing in those wingers, left wingers from the lower leagues. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a boring day, very boring day. I've been sat here in my mate's uni accommodation, which is, by the way, one of the lowest rated uni accommodations in the country. Like, it is absolutely shambolic. It's the smallest room I've ever been in my life, and I've been sleeping on the floor for the last 2 days, and that's been boring. And then what's even more boring is there being literally nothing to write home about. I've been sat here primed to write an article on a new signing all day, and guess what? Nothing. Nada. I'm fuming.
Chaz, I think the fact that you've been sleeping on the floor says more about your chat up lines than anything. You're on an away day and you've not managed to secure yourself a bed. absolute shambles.
Listen. I've been here to see my mate, who is a male, and I am straight, for his birthday. And John, and I did not want to, go out and, make it all about me. So I've been on this very trusty air mattress right here on the floor. And yeah, it's been a pleasure. Manchester is a good night out. So yeah, there we go. Yes, Ash, I've got no game in Manchester. Well done. But what can I say?
Look, the accommodation can't be that bad. The accommodation can't be that bad. You've got like a Van Gogh painting behind you as well. Look at that. What is that all about?
That's just my mate James. He's so fancy. He's got a Starry Night behind him here. He's got like all these paintings of Gustav Klimt's Vienna Succession exhibition up there. It's a bit woke.
Can anyone tell Jazz went to private school? Bloody Van Gogh's up in your uni room. Most people have got bloody Megan Fox or someone like that, haven't they?
Do they?
Well, when I went to uni, they did. I don't know about nowadays.
Okay, so what we've worked out from this is that my mate's fancy and John's a gooner. There we are.
Yeah, something like that. Can we move on? I mean, we've been on 14 minutes, and we're talking about Chaz pulling women.
Yeah, Posh 3 minutes of those were the intro. Don't hide from that as well.
Posh need to make a signing, don't they? Jacob Mendy, anyone delighted to see him through the front door permanently?
We people wanted a left back, didn't they? Well, we've got one. I said that we weren't going to sign a fourth one. Adebisi, I tweeted DMAC asking about the 3 left backs last night. Adebisi is clearly done for the season. I just don't think that we're going to be seeing him at all this season. So fingers crossed he can get himself ready for the 26-27 season, whether or not he does. And did DMAC say that Harley Mills is going to be back in about 4/5 weeks? So if we take that as 2 months, we take that with a pinch of salt, then Mendy's back in a couple of weeks, then who knows what's going to happen. So I think that it's fine for what it is, but am I disappointed in Mendy? No, we've clearly had to do a deal with Wrexham, haven't we, to get Tom O'Connor off the wage bill. So it's kind of like it's a net zero, isn't it, from both? We're not paying Tom O'Connor's wages and we're now paying Mendy's wages.
Sorry, can anyone verify if that news that I've just got put in the comments is real?
Surely not,
because it's a very random thing to say if it's not. But I can't see anything about that. Dobby going to Barnsley. There's nothing on our hashtag or Barnsley's hashtag to suggest it. So what random rumour threw out there? What a random rumour. But there we are.
Yeah, that would be really weird as well. Like, why would they come and pluck Donne from our side? I can't see that happening. I think that's Max's dad having a pulling everyone's arm and a leg, seriously. But the rumor is, and Alan Swan put it in his whatever live feed is it that he does, saying that everybody's done, everybody's packed up. That doesn't mean that all the stuff isn't ready to go. DMAC could have a scheduled tweet ready for 6:58 p.m. and all of the club could have all of their stuff ready to go out at 7 p.m. There is just no way that we go through a deadline day without signing one. That's just not in Darrag's nature. I can't believe it. So should we run it all the way back to the start of the day? Was it Blackmore that went first?
Yeah, Blackmore, then very quickly after Bilo, which I don't know why we wait till deadline day to announce these kind of things. Like that could have been done, a while ago, but both sensible moves, weren't they? Quick, I'll give a quick testimony to them both. First of all, Blackmore seems like a very good lad. He always gets, very popular in the changing room. The players always mention him when they're asked, who's the funniest or who's the biggest personality. He's always up there. And that's exactly what you want from a third choice goalkeeper. You just want them sort of quite weird, but just energetic, great vibes in the changing room. And it seems like he brought that. I mean, it's a crazy flashback to when we gave Blackmore that big contract in the summer of 2023. We promoted a goalkeeper coach for him. He was going to be our number one. He got injured. Imagine he hadn't got injured. How differently could things have gone for him or for Posh? Bilo was almost signed to replace Blackmore, but he was going to be given that opportunity. And then obviously Bilo came in, and we all like Bilo, don't we? Like, he's a likable character. We may not like him as a footballer. We may have some bad memories of some of his worst games, but he did have some great games, some very good games. When we first signed him for the first half of the 23-24 season, he was pretty consistent, performed decently well until he got injured around Christmas time. And then last season, when he came back in, I'll always remember Bolton away. That when he turned into just an absolute animal in goal, was saving everything, and then was let down in the last minute by the team, giving away a penalty. One of the most miserable games of last season. But yeah, I mean, yeah, John, do you disagree? Do you not like Bilo?
No, do I like him? I don't know him personally. Did I like him on the pitch? He made me a little bit nervous. I just wanted to just inform everyone that one of our esteemed co-hosts, Harry Anders, predicted that Nicholas Bilakapic would leave Peterborough United for 5 million sterling. So chalk that one up as incorrect, Harry. If you're listening in Canada, please. Just so the next time, let's all remember as well, the next one he said is going to do that is Kean Hayes. So let's see if you can get a 50% hit ratio or not, Harry. I'm going to go with not.
Yeah, one of Harry's more outrageous shouts. Not that he has many great ones, although I'm sure if he's watching or listening live, he'll come and give me some beef in our comments. Do you know what the weird thing about Bilo's announcement was? That it happened initially, then it got removed, and then about 4 hours later, it got put back out again. But I'm sure in the club's post, it said that he's going somewhere and that his next club will be announced shortly. I have not seen where that next club is. So,
shall we have a guess? Should you play bingo?
I will guess that it's Cambridge. Let's where I think he's gone.
Bingo, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's Cambridge. I actually don't. I think it will be Bristol Rovers with Steve Evans. He loves an ex-Posh player. Bristol Rovers fans have been commenting on stuff to do with Bilo all day. I'm going Bristol Rovers.
I'm going to go Wellington FC. Over to New Zealand for Bilakapic. Charlie's got a friend.
Is that Among Us James? Chaz, he's muted himself, so he's not even going to give us...
Sorry, I was just saying hello. He's very embarrassed, but yeah, that is that's my mate James.
Is that the room? Is that his room door?
Yeah, that's his room door.
Yeah, okay. And that's ropey. That is, isn't it?
Yeah,
I know
it's
what
a
you mean
proper
about.
box.
Right, we've got 8 minutes to fill, haven't we? I genuinely don't think that anything's going to happen, is it? It's going to be an absolute disaster. Although I did see that Tom O'Connor has actually tweeted. I don't know if any of you saw that. It's not really come up on too many socials, but he said, "Not how I wanted my season to end, but a very enjoyable few months at the Posh. Great club, and wish the lads and everyone there best of luck for the rest of the season." Ooh. Do we? So this is a good point, isn't it? Because we were all on that recording with Dara, and he was very confident that Tom O'Connor was going to be a Peterborough United player permanently. Do you still think that happens in the summer? Is that something that would interest either of you?
Do I want him? Do I want him? Don't I want him? I don't. I think it depends on the severity of this injury. I genuinely say that because we've had a history of a recent history of signing players that then got into medical issues not long after they sign. And if this injury seems to be a pretty bad one, you would say if it's going to end his season, is his muscle detached from the bone? Did I remember that rightly? Have we heard that?
That's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it's a massive injury, isn't it? So
yeah. Look, I think Tom O'Connor is probably the best centre-back in the squad. I really like the guy. Do I think we could do better in the summer? Maybe somebody slightly more physically imposing. We're talking about sorting out the set pieces. Well, certainly having a more dominant aerial centre-back would help in that regard, I think. So, look, if he didn't have this injury, I would really have liked to have seen him stay if he continued on his form that he was on. Given the Plymouth game where he did struggle a little bit, and maybe that was down to a niggle, I wouldn't be opposed to him signing, but I'm not like, if you don't sign him, that's a huge failure, if that makes sense. I wouldn't be up in arms about it if the club did explore other options. So yeah, that's kind of my stance. That's a bit on the fence, isn't it? I never like sitting on the fence either, but I am very much getting splinters on my backside with that answer.
Yeah, I could definitely see us signing Tom O'Connor. And you know what? I could see us getting promoted with Tom O'Connor at left-sided centre-back. I actually really like him. I think he's a very good player. Classy, very classy. And you know what? He didn't have the best end to his Posh career. And it's actually really sad that Plymouth game where, you know, he made an error and maybe should have been sent off was the last time he'll play for us, because actually he's done very well. I think in his time at the club, came in when we were looking pretty terrible, has been brilliant in defence for us. The good news is obviously that we've got a Cowboy back, and Mendonca looks like he might be something, and you know, Tom Lees has been so consistent for us, and maybe we'll see Sam Hughes in the nearish future. I don't know, but yeah, Tom O'Connor, I'd like to see us sign him again if we can. Especially, is his contract expiring this summer? Did someone say? That would be good on a free transfer. No brainer for me. Natural balance in the defence, left-footed centre back. I really like Tom O'Connor. I think if there's an opportunity to get him, I think we should. But also, to be honest, I think there'll be lots of other League One clubs that are trying to sign him because he's very, very good, very versatile. I think could play in midfield or at left back. Yeah, there could be something in it. And I see that we're getting dangerously close now to 7 o'clock. And so I'm refreshing the hashtag because I really want to see something exciting, but nothing as of yet is there.
Don't you have notifications on, Chaz?
I never get them though.
Mudded.
We have been linked with Micah Hamilton. Anyone keen to see him arrive? Obviously, he's had pretty limited minutes in the first team, but I think did he play for the Champions League for Man City? I think he's played in the Champions League.
Yeah. They signed him for a lot of money, Middlesbrough. He was £3.5 million from Man City, so clearly got a bit of caliber. They're very excited to get the deal over the line. Middlesbrough didn't happen for him there. Whatever. He scored apparently in the Champions League for them. So yeah, I think he would be a good signing. Obviously, that is like a Jimmy J Morgan type player. Of that's just going to be a straight loan, but you never know. He might.
If he does sign, here's a question for the chat and to you, Chaz and Ash: have Posh ever had a player that scored in the Champions League before? I can't think of one off the top.
Sounds right up. What? That's then come back to us.
Either way, like just represented Posh and gone on to play and score in the Champions League, or come to us that has scored in the Champions League. I don't know.
Ben White, Danny Rose. Surely Danny Rose has got a Champions League goal to his name, hasn't he?
Yeah. Gustav Lindgren soon, maybe. Gustav, any chance?
Well, they're in the Champions League. They're in. What are they in?
No, but you listen. If Hack can carry on their upward trajectory, you never know. Gustav could be the one that got away.
Didn't they drop off? Yeah, didn't they drop off last season and lost out on all Europe? Yeah, I think so.
Oh dear.
I think they're about to be playing Swedish second division, so they've got a long way to go to get that Champions League spot.
No. They're in the Prem. I'm sure that.
Yeah, but I think they're going down. I'm pretty sure they're going down.
I think they finished above it. I'm sure that they finished above it. Get on the old websites. What are they called? Hacken.
BK Hacker.
Oh, somebody said Christian Burgess. That is a great shout. Carl Kirk. Yeah, he must have scored because he's done really well there.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, that is a good one. Deal sheets. No, look, sorry, Chaz, I'm going to block you off a bit here. We will not be here until 9 o'clock. So what I'm kind of hoping is that look, Dara's watching on the plane that he's on, and he goes, right, fuck these lads, I'm going to do him one. And as soon as we turn off and go like not live, whatever the opposite of going live is, God, brain fart. And then he announces the deal just to piss us off. But who knows? We're getting to that time that DMAC tweets, aren't we now? So if anything's going to happen, it's going to be now, I would suggest.
Do you know what? he'd have to have the internet, wouldn't he, on his plane if he was watching us live? And
This is assuming that he's on a plane. He may not even be on a plane.
But given his frugality with the club today, I'll be pissed off if he's purchased the internet of BA at £40 for the flight. That should be in the budget because he's not spent anything on the club. So I reckon that should be budgeted for next season. You know, if you're going to go frugal on deadline day, let's employ it in every aspect of your life. I would say. I think that's a fair comment.
Crazy. I mean, I just don't know. Like there is nothing. I'm very surprised that we haven't had tweets from Dara. Usually, if we're done with the transfer window, we'll get sort of a, yeah, that's us done, you know, Posh fans. And he's been active on Twitter today because he liked one of my tweets. So there we are. But yeah, he's clearly not particularly forthcoming tonight, which is a shame. But there have been some interesting moves in League One elsewhere, which we can maybe talk about while we watch this 7 p.m. deadline fall away. Is that Barnsley, they've had some interesting manoeuvres. Davis Keylor-Dunn has gone to Wrexham, I think, from them, which is a big loss for them. Who else have signed players? I didn't know. Did Luton end up signing Luca Connell off Barnsley? I know that was one that was going right down to the deadline too.
I think it's going through. By the way, Jacob Mendes has put out a hilarious tweet upon signing for Peterborough. It's 7 paragraphs long, and there is not one mention that he signed for us. It's just a big long love letter to Wrexham, and there's not one mention of Posh in the whole thing, which did make me laugh a little bit. How many games? Right, we've got Mendy until the end of the season on a permanent. How many games do you think he plays between now and the end of the season before his contract expires?
What was that lad that we signed last year? Or was it the year before?
Vontae Daly-Campbell.
Yeah.
Big up Vontae Daly-Campbell.
Here's a question for everybody that's watching at the moment. Would you play Jacob Mendy over Carl Johnston at left back?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is actually a tough one because naturally he's a left footer, and we know that Luke Williams likes to have left footers in the team to offer that balance. But CJ's done a good job at left back, hasn't he? So I would be disappointed if CJ is moved out of left back. I would want CJ to be playing right back and taking Kyoso and JD up the team. But based on JD's form the last 3 games, I don't think that's then fair on JD.
I wouldn't be starting Jacob Mendy. I think CJ's been decent at left back, hasn't he? And I've not been Carl Johnston's biggest fan throughout his time at Posh, but I think he's done a more than credible job since he's gone in there. So it'd be very harsh to take him out of the team. And then Harley Mills isn't that far off by the time Mendy's back, which is what, let's say another 3 weeks, although they'll probably rush him again. How long's Mills got? 5 weeks? Is it 5 weeks? Or I made that up?
Apparently,
yeah.
Let's just say 2 months for the sake of it, because we don't want to rush him back, do we? Because I'm sure that Mills had the same issue, is that he had a hamstring that detached from the bone, so he had to have surgery on it. So, you know, that's at least 2 that have had hamstring issus.
I don't know. I think if we're going to let Mendy get fit, I think we haven't seen him at full fitness really yet. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good left back potentially, but yeah, I'm not sure. There's been an interview with Dara released apparently on Posh Plus. So I guess that actually is it over. Don't really know what to say other than.
Do you want to talk season tickets?
Underwhelming. Yeah, let's talk season tickets because
they affect you more than me as the 2 season ticket holders. So yeah, talk me through it. What do you think? I mean, on the face of it, for me, like freezing the prices is great, but you've got to buy them in February now, which is definitely earlier than the early bird has been before. And 500 quid is. I mean, I know inflation's a thing nowadays, but 500 quid for a League One season ticket feels a lot of money to me. over 500 quid. I don't know. Maybe I'm past the time.
It's 479, isn't it? If you buy in February,
Yeah,
you're guaranteed to 23 new
509,
games. You're talking 21 quid, aren't you? So is 21 quid a good price for 23 league games? I think it is. Well, when you compare it to what it would cost, which is 27 or 28, I think it's a good saving, isn't it? And you are making that commitment there and then. And look, we always discuss, don't we? Like, how do the club value supporters? Sponsors come first, then it's season ticket holders, and then you're paying on. It's your on the day match day fans. So it's nice that the prices are frozen, but there feels like a bit more of a scramble because it's only the February. I'm sure that normally the deadline is March the 31st, which is the early bird price, and we may not know what league we're in. Although I guess we do, because we're not going up, are we? Let's be real. If DMAT thought we were going up, he would have brought some reinforcements in, I'm sure. And look, we're not going to be able to watch this whilst we're live, but it looks like there's a big focus on the academy now. It looks like there's excitement at the work the academy are doing and looks ahead to the rest of the season. So I think my biggest disappointment with the season tickets is that with delaying what feels inevitable, is that the London Road End shouldn't be an end where we have season tickets and that we just need to make the switch to the GH display stand. But we've got to wait for this trial game, haven't we? So I don't know why we've not done that trial game sooner, John.
Yeah, I'm also a little confused by that, because what are we really getting from that trial game? It feels like we've opened the GH for numerous games now. We know really people like, and it's getting more and more popular, isn't it? And secondly, it's a bit weird kind of making people buy tickets for the London Road End if next season they're going to swap it to the GH display. So unless they're thinking the trial is for 27, 28, but then that seems strange as well. So it was a little bit of a ambiguous statement, I guess, that, we're having a trial game. Are they looking at changing it for next season? And then if I think someone's asked in the comments if the GH was available, would you get your season ticket there? I think the answer for you, Ash, is definitely yes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. It's the best stand. It's the nicest stand. It's got the nicest toilets. And yeah, all the oldies can say, well, I don't go to football for the toilets and I don't go for the nice facilities. But why would you not want to be there? I as much as I enjoy sitting on my wooden seat and I have my routine in the main stand, I like going in the GH because it's just an all-round better experience, whether people say that or not. I think that the London Road End is just an absolute dive, but I appreciate why people have their connections to that. But people have lots of connections. People make connections with players. People make connections with club badges. Things change. Times move on. And what better time to move the club on and progress the club than when we are getting a new badge? We're going to go for promotion next season. Like that will be one of the first things that DMAC says now that when this season is over, is that next season we are going to have a real good go of promotion after 2 poorer seasons by everybody's standards. Let's fill the GH every single week. I'm confident if you put season tickets in there and you then put like your match day fans that buy the tickets on the day or in advance, you're going to fill that stand every week. And what an experience that will be. We know that the players comment on how much they like the GH being open. We know that Luke Williams likes the GH being open. And all of a sudden, we're now not doing season tickets in there, or we might be doing season tickets. I tweeted earlier, it felt like a step forwards, and now we've taken 3 steps backwards. If anything, just delay the release of season tickets until they've done this trial game and got the feedback. Or we could have done the trial game for Huddersfield. We could do it this Saturday. Obviously, we can't do it now. It's very late on, but this is clearly something that's been in the pipeline for, let's say, 2 months. I feel like we've left it too late.
Yeah, I was fully anticipating to be able to buy a season ticket in the GH next season. I'm not going to lie. I don't understand where we're going with this, because it just feels like there's always pushback on a move to the GH, and they've always found a way to scapegoat something, and it feels like there's very little excuses not to open the GH anymore. So to begin with, it was, well, we only set it out for the big games, Cambridge and Northampton. So they opened it for Carlisle at home, I think, and the GH entirely sold out. And then it was, well, where are we going to put all the away fans? So they found out a way to split the GH. And then it was, well, GH is just full of people with, that are just trying to make trouble. And this season, there's been literally, other than, Saturday and Tobber being an absolute weapon, there's been literally no trouble in the GH this season. Very little arrests, record low ejections, like literally nothing. And you can ask people at the club if you want the stats. People can try and make out like it's full of troublemakers. Categorically, that is factually incorrect. Just it is. And then it's a case of, well, the London Road End still fills up more than the GH anyway. Have you seen the London Road End versus the GH in recent weeks? These have been relatively small games, Plymouth, Bolton. At the weekend, it was Huddersfield. They're not massive games. It's not derby games. And yet the GH is outperforming the London Road End almost constantly. It's so frustrating, and it does feel like the people at the club, and I really like the people at the club that are involved with decisions like this, and I think they're good at their jobs. But it feels like they're just kicking the can down the road because they don't want to deal with the backlash. Well, eventually, someone's going to have to take this situation by the horns and actually go, you know what, I'm going to show some steel here, and yes, I'm going to get a bit of criticism for this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the plunge and I'm going to open it consistently for home fans, confident that in a season's time, in 2 seasons' time, when people have acclimatized to it and got over things, which they always do, they did the exact same thing with the rebrand, when people sort of lose the nostalgic element and start to use their brains and start to experience how much better the GH is, how much more comfortable an experience it is, and how much more of an enjoyable football watching experience it is in the GH, regardless of whether you care about the facilities or not. It's just a better view of football. Once people realize that, they will be fine with it. It's so poor. I just don't understand it. And people try and make excuses about, they need to put safe standing in, they need to do this, and this, and there's these regulations. I don't know what they're talking about, what regulations. As far as I'm concerned, there is no issue with the fans being moved to the GH. There is an issue, obviously, with opening both the London Road End and the GH at the same time, because financially that isn't viable. But what are we going to do? Because next season, regardless of whether there's season tickets in the GH, every single game there's going to be this clamour for the GH to be open for home fans anyway. Because most of the, vocal social media fan base definitely want us to move in there. So every single game, Joe Fletcher and the team are going to be getting at Chris Brewer. I know he's, moving on, but all these things at the new ticket guy. Open the GH for this game, open the GH for this game. So we're going to be stuck with 2 stands open for most of the season anyway. It just makes no sense to me. It was such a frustrating thing. And why are we even posting season ticket news on deadline day anyway? Like, shouldn't that be a day perfectly reserved for transfers? It just all was very weird to me. I don't understand why we're doing a trial after announcing the season tickets. Surely you do a trial before that. If I go and buy a season ticket in the London Road End today, but then the trial is a fantastic success, are they going to move my season ticket? And if they decide to open it in the GH, does that just mean fans that want season tickets in the GH have no access to early bird pricing? Is that what we're saying? They're going to have to pay an additional price for their ticket? Like, what are we doing here? It just feels really unorganized and really just silly all around.
Yeah, so the way that I see it is that there's a portion of people in the London Road End that will move their season ticket to the other end. Like, we know that we know that those types of people in there. We know people ourselves that are going to do that move. Then there's a portion of people that are resisting, for want of a better word, but would do it. And then there's another portion of the people that will probably say, well, I'm not having a season ticket. How many people are there that are now not going to buy a season ticket because they can't buy a season ticket in the GH? And like Charlie says, they're now going to have to pay a premium because the club have delayed something that realistically, is it March the 7th is the Port Vale game? There's not going to be a decision made by the time that the early bird pricing finishes, which is the end of March. So then all of a sudden it's April, and John, you mentioned it. It's like £529 for a season ticket. I don't know if it would match the price of the London Road End. I would assume that they probably would have to do that. But then still, then if I move my adult season tickets, am I going to get a refund? Am I going to get money back? Like, where does everybody stand? And it just feels like Charlie, you said, it just feels like something's not right at the moment, and it feels like we've gone early on a decision that probably didn't need to be made. So frustrating, but here we are, another season of supporting Peterborough United and having to switch tickets every single week.
Yeah, that's so annoying. It's just so frustrating. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like, it does feel like, what more do people need to do? You know, they voted with their feet. Is that not enough? You know, the blue section have put on displays in the stands this season. Is that not enough? You know, it just does feel like there's nothing that we're never going to get over but it's the London Road End factor, you know, and people can't even really put sort of any arguments forward for the London Road End other than I'm emotionally attached to it, which I'm not, you know, saying isn't a real big thing. But actually, when you look at the younger fan base and the, you know, what's been going on recently with that and everything, it's like the GH just feels like the place to be. And to be honest, it would be great to have it next season because, as you said, Ash, next season is going to be a potentially massive season for Peterborough United. I think it's going to be a big season for us. I really do. I think, you know, we're going to have Harry Leonard, Lisby. We're going to have, you know, second season of Kagwe and Alex Bass and, you know, Harley Mills. It's going to be a great season for the club in terms of the young talent's going to be a lot better than it already is, which is very high level. And in the summer, I think we're going to have really go for it recruitment wise. I think Darren not signing anyone this January is going to be a bit of a prelude to, I think he's going to spend some serious money in the summer. I really do believe that. And I think it's going to be a fantastic season. And how great would it be, as you said, Ash, new badge, new team, new ambition, new stand. It will just be perfect. But instead, we're then going to be stuck in a situation, and I guarantee it will happen. Imagine we get promoted. Then people are going to go, oh, hang on. Do we not need the GH for all those away fans that championship clubs are going to bring? Because, you know, we want to be able to give 4,000 to, you know, half of the clubs in the championship that will bring that number of fans, and it's going to be kicked down the road again. It's like, so someone needs to make that decision. Some people don't care, some people do care. It is what it is, but it does frustrate me. I feel like a lot of people have really campaigned very strongly for this, and they've not got the reward that I think they deserve.
Yeah, I think Saturday, against Huddersfield, pretty sure there was 3 sold out blocks. Now, I appreciate that there was probably some free tickets in there, but the argument previously has been we only sell out the GH when we do grassroots codes at 80% off, and we only do this. But I pay full price for my ticket. I buy extra tickets. Charlie, you're the same. I know plenty of people that buy full price tickets. And just because I'm pretty sure that the free ticket offering is you get a free under 14 in, but you have to pay for the adult ticket. So Posh is still making the money there. And yes, despite Tobber's incident, which was bloody harsh, let's just put that on record as well. Despite being hilarious watching Tobber get kicked out and dragged out, very incredibly harsh, and maybe there needs to be a decision made on whether they actually put a bit of red and white tape, no-go zone, that then stops it. And let's not factor in, does the London Road End have a sponsor anymore or not? I don't think it does. Let's talk about GH Display and what their thoughts are on how much money they put into the club. Surely a little bit of a word from them and says, look, we want this stand to be open. Why we're not getting our money's worth? Like, who wants to promote an empty stand? Like, oh, the GH Display stand's empty again. Surely there's a word from them to commercial that says, can we get this done or not? But yeah, I mean, are we done? We're not getting anything, are we?
No.
Johnny, you got anything else you want to add?
I was just researching season ticket prices across League One on ChatGPT because I thought it was quite expensive. I actually think we might have the most and I don't know this, but looking across ChatGPT, I think we have one of the most expensive season tickets in the entire of League One. And I think we've got a more expensive season ticket than 8 Premier League clubs, at least for this season. Of course, those Premier League clubs could raise their prices like we have, or we haven't, but that is going off the 529. So it's not the early bird price, but we are quite. I think we're priced highly for an area in Peterborough, which it's not the most affluent area. It's not a London, is it? It's not a hugely affluent area. So if you're trying to get floating fans in, I don't know. I think we're getting to a tipping point now where I know Darrow will say there's inflation and things like that, but I do think we're reaching. For me, we're getting to a stage now where you're getting to the sort of prices where it's tough to justify raising it too much more if we're in League One. I think you can in the Championship, but how much is too much for a League One season ticket? Is 550 quid too much? Is 600 too much? Like, I don't think there's much room to raise it much further without people starting to get particularly annoyed. Don't know if that's fair.
Yeah, I think I've just done the maths on it. I think that once you get to £25 a game for a season ticket, if you're talking 575, that's a lot of money. So that would be £100 increase on the frozen price, which to do £100 in a season, it's not going to happen, is it? You're going to that would be like Man City tickets levels of like backtracking that goes on, like when we're going to spend £800 on a ticket and then all of a sudden it becomes 40 or whatever it was. But I think that when you start to, you're testing people's loyalty when you are charging £25 a ticket, because then that means your match day ticket is going to be what, £32-33 to watch a League One team. Then you go to the what a Prem away tickets? Are they capped at £30?
£30
max, yeah.
I think when you're anywhere near that, I'm pretty sure that Mansfield charged £30 for away tickets, which is embarrassing. But when you're matching a Premier League team in League One, I think that's when it becomes unacceptable, and then people would rather go and spend their money elsewhere.
I think our away tickets are £29, aren't they? Because I've seen people complaining about that as well. Because
I reckon they're 26 in advance, 29 on the day is what I've.
Yeah, and like the away facilities are now the GH is gone, and we want it as a home stand. They're pretty bad. I mean, is there an argument that you give the away fans the terrace next season if you're going to give them the GH? Is that an argument?
Maybe. I guess this was the only comment that I wanted to put up before we go. Someone said, just watch the DMAC Plus video that came out 10 minutes ago. Turns out an unnamed winger turned down a move 2 days ago. So I guess we've been trying for wingers. Sorry, this comment just blocks my face completely now, doesn't it? I guess we've been trying for wingers, but
Charlie, I think that people have. There's two ways that people have taken that, and that it may be that they think that it's this way round, and that somebody has rejected leaving the club.
Well, well, I'm not gonna say anything. But if he's rejected a move, he's an idiot, because he's not going to get back in here, and his stock isn't going to get any higher before the summer. So there we are, I guess.
Well, all it means is that I'll just get to see Abraham Otto more in the gym.
Yeah,
which,
get stared down
thoroughly
more.
enjoyable and thoroughly pleasurable. Maybe I will challenge to that 1v1 at Power League, and we can record that and put that up on the channel. So, Abraham, if you're listening, let's do it. 1v1 down at Power League, or if you've got any mates that play for Posh that want to come down, and we can do Up the Poshcast versus Abraham Otto and friends, then yeah, let's do it. Let's see how good he really is at football. Yeah,
well, I think we're done.
It's move out the club, isn't it?
Yeah. What a silly deadline day. What a terrible deadline day. To be fair, can I just say, actually, this was a terrible deadline day just across the leagues. Like, nothing really interesting in the Premier League, no drama in the Championship. Like, just across the leagues, it's just been a bit boring. Cheltenham Town are the team that I've seen that have had the most interesting day, because they've had, some last-minute buzzer-beater signings, and yeah, been a boring one.
I'm pretty sure deadline day is getting worse. Like, before FFP, there used to be an influx. So maybe I'm imagining this, but Jim White and his yellow tie and Arshavin and all the people outside the stadium with the dildos and everything. It used to be a real good national event. And now it's like, I don't know. It's ever since Sky Sports started presenting from inside stadiums and not outside with the public, it's lost its touch. And
Yeah,
have we ever been through a deadline day without making a signing before?
That's another one for our stat man.
We have made a signing.
Oh yeah, we have. Sorry, Jacob Mendy arrived.
Yeah, we signed Mendy on a permanent.
Welcome, Jacob Mendy.
Yeah, I mean, deadline days for Posh have traditionally been really entertaining. Like, you know, in the summer we had a very active deadline day with Leonard, Morgan, Tom O'Connor, and Jacob Mendy. The year before that was Jono at the last. No, the year before that was Katongo and Bradley. Then the year before that was Jono at the last minute, and Malik and Jacob Wakeling. So we've had some really good deadline days in recent years. You know, there was the PK thing as well, you know, in January 2024. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I have to agree with you, John. Deadline day is just not the same. Not the same. I just don't enjoy it at the moment. It's like you're waiting for something to happen, nothing happens, and you go to bed feeling deflated.
Last question from me, I think, is do you either? I saw someone ask this in the comments, but do either of you criticise Dara for not signing a player? Do you think it's poor ownership? Do you think it's not?
I no is the short answer, and I think that we mentioned it, didn't we, when we recorded on Saturday evening for the final whistle that went out yesterday morning, is that if not signing anyone now puts us in a stronger position for the summer, then fine. But like Charlie said, is that we've got to be getting rid of the remaining bits of the dead wood then early on. Like I'm talking like as soon as the season's finished, like let's have a really... It all started, didn't it, last summer with that retained list that Fergie signed off on and all that crap that we kept that has now left the club and is not here anymore. So I think if we can have a statement of intent from the summer and we get some early signings in June or whenever the window opens, then it's then a completely different story. So no, is it bad ownership? If everything is to be believed that Luke Williams is happy with the squad and he is happy to integrate these academy players, then it's fine. Because what better way to make money for the football club than to bring through Luka Mendonca, to bring through Patrick Sykert, to sell a James Dornelli, sell a Harley Mills. I just hope that when we can, and that would be my next question, is do we need to work on longer term contracts for these players because they're limited as to how much of a professional contract they can sign. So if it means that we can offer those kids more, which keeps them here for 4 or 5 years, then so be it. And that's what we want, isn't it? We always say, like, what is it to be Peterborough United? Well, it's to see academy players come through. It's to see young talent come through, exciting talent that are fearless. And the sooner we get to that stage in the season where playoffs is out the question, relegation's out the question, then we can start letting those players express themselves and give them a run of games. Whereas last season, we watched, 3 games, which were all crap. Give it a run of games of players that want to be here next season. So, yeah, I got no issues.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, to be fair, one that is going to completely shut down the playoff push this season. I'm just not going to do it. As I meant, I read out that run of games that we had, you know, from sort of mid-February to late March, and I see no reason why we couldn't go and get maximum points from that run of games, and then we would seriously be in a very good place. I guess the one big positive, or at least one should be big positive from this window, is that hopefully we will never hear the phrase, you know, squeezed on the cap, stuff like that again, because we've now got rid of Gustav Lindgren. We've got rid of Ryan de Havilland, 2 of the goalkeepers. Am I missing anyone else? Hopefully it'll be O'Connor. So that's a significant wage off our wage bill. You'd expect.
Lolos as well.
Lolos,
don't forget him.
Reyes. I mean, I know Reyes, all only loans. You know, some of these players, I grant, their full wage won't be off the bill, but hopefully now in the summer there will be no excuses as to we're close to the cap. That's why we need to wait until deadline day to sign half our team. Hopefully from minute one of the summer we'll be able to hit the ground running and have a great season. But I'm not ruling us out of this season yet. One, because I actually am optimistic and I do think we've got a good team now, and I do think that run of fixtures is very, very appealing. And two, because if I give up on playoffs in January when we're only 10 points off with a game in hand, I'm going to be so bored for the rest of the year, lads. So I'm just going to try and keep it going, and as long as possible, keep that flame burning, and, a win against Wigan on Saturday. And then if we do that trifecta of away games and get positive results there, you never know. You never know. It will be very
this really reminds me of January 2025 when I believe you were beating the playoff drum then as well, Charlie, weren't you? You were saying
that was December, but also this squad. Yeah, do you not think this squad is significantly better than that one?
It is. I think I personally look. I'm not angry about us not really signing anyone. I think Ash summed up my thoughts on it pretty much entirely. But I do think the fact that we've not signed anyone is kind of an admission from the club that they don't believe the top six is on either. If it was really on and you're really pushing for it, I think you go and find a winger or a striker, or there's some gaps in the squad that you want to fill. It was centre back, in fact, as well. There's definitely some gaps in this squad that you'd want to fill if you were really, really thought it was on. And I think the fact that we've kept our powder dry, so to speak, probably indicates that truly within the club they're thinking next season at this point as well.
Yeah. Well, Lincoln have just signed Camille Conte, so there we are. What a lovely end to the day. Well, I think we're done.
Let's get out of here then. We've done an hour. Nothing's happening. Important to note, we of course have a fans forum tomorrow at 6:30 at the club, 7:00 start. So I'm going. I think that I may be the only Up the Poshcast host that's going. So maybe I'll just try and lock it all in. And no, I'm not doing an article. Not a chance. But the club have said that it's going to be recorded and it will be posted later on in the week. So there's plenty of questions to ask. So if you're listening to this and you want to drop a comment in, if there's anything, if you're not going and you'd like a particular thing to be asked, then yeah, get it in the comments or get it in somebody's DMs, and I'm sure that I can ask it. I'm not afraid of asking a question. I love hearing the own. You may not or may not know this. I love the sound of my own voice. So any chance to talk, I will absolutely take it. I think we're both there. Shall we get out of here, guys?
Yeah. Goodbye.
Thank you everyone for joining. Up the Poshcast.
Up the Poshcast.